Kristen, you're watching Kristen Cooks, and in today's video I'm going to do a little meal prep idea. I saw this on social media and I thought I wanted to make a few tweaks just to make it more to my taste and how I would like to eat it. So if you'd like to see this meal prep idea, I think it'd be really good for school time coming up and going back to work or whatever. I'm going to be going back to work here pretty soon. I work at a local school, and back to school is back to school for me too. So let's get going. Okay, close this. So the first thing I'm going to do, I know it's backwards. Okay. I'm going to use this protein Rotini. There's 11 grams of protein in this. And I've boiled this before and I've made it before, and the texture is better in this pasta. This is a grain and legume pasta. You know the Bonza pasta, the chickpea protein pasta? I don't like the texture of it. It's really kind of chalky and really kind of weird, even if you do rinse it. So I wanted to try this one because this isn't chickpea, and I thought maybe it would work a little bit better, and I think it does. I didn't rinse it after I made it, and it was fine. So I'm going to boil about half of this box. This is a 14.5 ounce box, so I'm just going to boil a little bit of this, see how I like this recipe, and we'll go from there. Also, I'm going to be using chicken breast here. I'll use about one, I think. Yeah. I'm going to butterfly it and pound it out so it's really nice and tender, and then grill it on the barbecue. That is my favorite way to do chicken by far. And I'm going to use, for the sauce part of it, I'm going to use cottage cheese, the small curd cottage cheese. I really like the small curd the best. I like that, that it's just more pleasant to eat, in my opinion. And then I have a jar of pesto. This is the creamy Genovese pasta. I mean, not pasta, pesto. And I'm gonna mix these two together, blend these two together and see what happens. I'll also add in some grated Parmesan cheese, some lemon juice, and also for a veggie to bulk it up a little bit, I have some frozen onion and some frozen bell pepper. And also I wanted to show you one thing. This is my zucchini. Isn't that gorgeous? I grew this outside in a container. I showed you in the last video, but one of those glazed, flower pots. But anyway, this is what I came up with. This is what grew. Isn't that awesome? I'm so glad I did that. My dog is eating ice on the floor here. Anyway, so I can add some of this in with it too. And for veggies, and let's get going. I have my water starting to boil here pretty soon, and I'm gonna get going on prepping my chicken to go out on the barbecue.
So here's my zucchini outside. I didn't actually use the zucchini in the meal prep. I decided to use it to make zucchini bread instead. But here it is. I just wanted to show you, and it's been really fun trying to grow these zucchini outside in a container. All right, so let's get going with the sauce to start off with. So I have 1 cup of small curd, low-fat cottage cheese, and I'm putting it into my little blender cup here, my Ninja blender cup. Scraping everything out to get all the bits. I'm just going to get some of this prep out of the way first before I start the chicken. So I also have probably about 3 or 4 cloves of fresh garlic here. Use however much or little that your tastes prefer. I like a lot of garlic. And then I have the zest of 1 lemon. Always use the zest on your citrus. Don't throw that away because there's a lot of flavor in the zest of limes and lemons. And then I'm going to eyeball this, probably a couple healthy spoonfuls of this pesto sauce. This is so good, maybe 3, just for good measure, right? And then I'll use this little strainer on top of my blender cup because I'm going to juice that lemon. I wish I would have put a little bit more fresh lemon juice in the sauce because my son said that he felt it needed just a little bit more lemon juice because he likes lemon flavor also. So next time I'll probably juice maybe 1 to 2 lemons just to be on the safe side, because the flavors, once you cook everything and adjust, like the lemon flavor gets muted a little bit. So I'll just add a little extra next time. All right, get rid of that. And then I'm going to season it with a little bit of black pepper, a little garlic salt. There we go. And then I'm going to add some grated Parmesan cheese into the cup. And screw the blade down and blend away, and then I stuck it in the fridge after it was all blended. And now I'm going to get my pasta going before I start my chicken. Always salt your boiling water before you add in pasta. It adds so much more flavor, okay? You need that salt in there. So I'll just stir it up here and just let it cook away. Okay, now I'm starting with the chicken. So I'm just going to use about 1 breast out of this package here. I needed the rest of the chicken for dinner that night also. So I just wanted to use 1 breast. I had a little bit of chicken in the fridge that I needed to cook also. So I probably used about 2 breasts, and this after all was said and done, this yielded about 3 meal prep containers. You'll see at the end, but you can do however much or little. Like I said, I wanted to try this out now so that I can meal prep some lunches for myself when I go back to work here. Pretty soon when school gets back in, then I go back to work also. So I just wanted to have some really good lunches on hand so that I'm not eating at the school, and, just so I'm making better choices in my day as far as meals go. So I'm really glad I tried this today too. It turned out really well, and it really allowed me to get creative. And that's what I love being in the kitchen is, thinking up different things to do and having them work out. And it's just so gratifying for me. So I'm putting a little bit of water, cold water, in this Ziploc bag because I want to pound out my chicken. I always fillet the chicken first, or butterfly it, however you want to say it. And I always pound out my chicken before I cook it. The result is just so much better than just taking it straight out of the package and throwing it into a pan or the grill. It just comes out so much better when you pound the chicken out and really kind of prep your chicken. The only time I don't really worry about pounding out the chicken and, cutting it in half and everything is if I'm putting it in the slow cooker, because I don't know if you really need it doing it that way, because it gets all nice and tender, slow cooked. So, take it or leave it, but I just guarantee that if you take this extra step, your dinner, your dish, whatever you're making is just going to come out that much better. And it's so worth it to me. Okay, so I'm just taking it and pounding it out. And now I'm just going to get some olive oil out and get ready to season my chicken because my grill is getting pretty warm at this point. I have it probably on medium right now, and I just need to get the chicken out there and cooking so it can rest a little bit before I finish off my dish. So I'm just doing this. I'm just going to go through this real quick. I'm just going to season it with garlic powder, garlic salt, lemon pepper seasoning, and Italian seasoning. I thought the lemon pepper would go really nicely with the cheese sauce that I have in the fridge because there's lemon juice in that. Okay, so here's my chicken all seasoned up and ready to go on the grill. And in the meantime, I'm also going to saute some veggies so that I can add them to my meal prep containers. So I have a little veggie to go along with the chicken and pasta. So I'm just grating in a little bit of garlic here with my little zester into some olive oil. And I'm just going to add in some veggies that I have on hand, some broccoli, some frozen onion, and some frozen bell pepper. And just get these cooking while I get my chicken on the grill. All right, so now that we have the chicken all done, I'm going to just slice it up super quick here and have this on standby. And this recipe is almost ready to be finished up here. So I'm just getting this sliced up. It's so tender, I barely need to add any pressure with the knife. Like, it just slices so easily with it being filleted and pounded out and all that. Okay, so in this pan that I just did the veggies, I took the veggies out. They're waiting to go into the pan, but I'm just going to add my cooked pasta into this saute pan along with the chicken. And I'm just going to get this all mixed together and heated through so that I can put this into the containers. So here's the sauce out of the fridge. See, as you can see here, it's a little bit thick. Pretty thick, actually. So I did end up, I put a little bit of more bottled lemon juice into this cup, and then I did blend it just really quickly just to get all of the sauce out of the cup, and then I poured it, which helped to thin it out also. And I just put it into the pan. I didn't show that part, but that's how I just kind of got the rest of the sauce out of the cup, was just to blend it up with a little bit more lemon juice. Because as you can see with the cheese here and everything, it's a little bit thick. But it's okay. And I'm just putting it into a pan here just to make sure that everything gets coated in the sauce before I portion it out into the meal prep containers. Just like this. I'm not really cooking anything. Everything's cooked here at this point. I'm just warming up the sauce, which will help it to coat all of the noodles and the chicken. And I'm going to keep the veggies separate. I'm not going to put it all together in one pan. Okay. So I decided I wanted to add a little bit more Parmesan cheese. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on there just to add some more depth of flavor. And then I had a little bit of mozzarella cheese, left in my fridge. So I wanted to use that up also. And that'll add some nice cheese pull when you warm it up again in the microwave. And it just kind of makes it more cheesy, of course. And who doesn't love mozzarella cheese? So it's perfect. All right, so I'll just move this around here. Make sure all of that chicken and the pasta gets coated in your nice protein cheese sauce. And this was just so delicious. You really wouldn't believe that this was just cottage cheese and it wasn't like some sauce made out of butter and flour and milk, which that adds more calories, right? I'm doing a little taste test here. And it was just perfect. All right, so now it's time to portion up these containers here. Actually, my son, after I made this, he had a bowl of this for lunch. So this actually would have made 4 containers, but because he had a bowl of it, I only got 3 out of it. But it's fine. I've got lunch for the next couple days. So I'm just putting, I'd say about a cup or so, a cup and a half into each one. And it was filling. It was just the right amount of food. I didn't feel too stuffed afterwards. And with the veggies and all that protein, I really felt like I got like a good balanced meal for lunch. Because when you're pressed for time, you just grab whatever, and usually it's not the best, healthiest choices. So this is just meant to really give yourself a break and, you know, keep your health on track and weight loss goals and what have you. This is just a really great way to prep meals for yourself when you're crunched for time. So here it is. I'm just going to add a little bit more Parmesan cheese on top for garnish. And then I'm going to put a little Italian parsley on top, put the lids on, and these are good to go.
Okay, hi. So my final thoughts, I hope you can hear me. But anyway, on the meal prep that I did, actually did have it for lunch, and I have a few final thoughts. First of all, it turned out really well. I was really actually surprised. I didn't know if it would turn out that well, but it was really flavorful and good, and you never would know that there was cottage cheese in there instead of like, you know, a cheese sauce made with butter and flour and all that. Like, it was just cottage cheese and the pesto and garlic and lemon, and it just turned out so good. Even my picky 13-year-old son liked it. He did say that he would have liked more lemon juice in it though, just to add an extra punch, because I agree, I had it for lunch and I agree it could have used a little bit more of lemon juice. And also, when you're making, you're putting the sauce with the noodles and the chicken, it would be a good idea to reserve a little bit of the pasta sauce or the pasta water, like before you drain it, and then add that hot water into the sauce to like thin it out a little bit, because as it cools, the pasta does get a little bit too thick. So you could either use the leftover pasta water, just reserve like a cup of it and just add it in as you need it, or you could add in a little bit of milk too. That could thin it out too, but you do need to thin it out a little bit. So anyway, extra lemon juice and a little extra liquid in the sauce to thin it out would be great. And a little more lemon juice too for ours. And then also, I was thinking too, there's 2 other variations you could do to add to this base, the cottage cheese base. You could add anchovy paste and lemon juice and garlic and Parmesan, salt and pepper, and then you'd have like a Caesar dressing or sauce, a Caesar sauce. I have my little notes here. And then also, if you wanted to do Mexican, if you wanted to turn it to like more Mexican, you could add like cumin and garlic powder and onion powder and tajin and chili powder, you know, whatever spices you like to put in your taco meat, you could put in your cheese sauce. So, and use ground beef instead of the chicken for the Mexican part. So I don't know, there's a lot of different ways you can go with this sauce. And if you'd like to see those, like, I'd be happy to do some more meal prep with those 2 ideas, the Caesar and the Mexican. I don't know, there's just a lot of options. And it's just really filling, and you feel like you ate a nice healthy meal at the end too, in the middle of the day. So win-win. There's protein in the cottage cheese, protein in the pasta, and there's protein, of course, with your protein, right? But anyway, all in all, very successful. I'm glad I tried it, and I feel kind of proud of myself because I kind of made up a recipe a little bit. I just took what I saw on the internet and then I just kind of morphed it into what I like, and it actually worked. So go me, I'm happy with myself. So anyway, thank you for watching my video. I hope you try it. I hope it works for you. Let me know if you try it. Let me know what you think. Okay, I'd love to hear your comments, read your comments. Anyway, I need to water. I haven't watered today, and see you in the next one. Bye.